Uh,
Man, it's your boy Sports Guy TV, where we talk sports like religion. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, man. Click that notification bell so you can get notified when I upload. Share the content, jump in the comments. Let's get it. Crack. Primetime game, but not a primetime performance by my Washington Commanders as they fall to the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field, 27-18. And believe it or not, man, that game felt really worse than what the final score was. I'm gonna get into a few things that I think was significant in that game. Some major injuries for the Washington Commanders. Deatrich Wise apparently has some type of leg issue going on. We just acquired Deatrich Wise from the New England Patriots this upcoming season. Austin Ekeler went down with a non-contact injury, freakish type of injury. Man, possibly could be an Achilles. Not going to really speculate on that. Even Jaden Daniels had an ankle that, from the replay, before he got rolled up on, it already looked like it kind of like snapped back and forth. But I mean, he was able to duke it out or whatever the case may be. But I mean, that's one thing about these quick turnaround games, man. When you got a Sunday game you play and then turn right around and play a Thursday night with less recovery time, these are the type of things that happen in the NFL, man. It's a brutal sport. It's a gladiator type of sport. I mean, you put a lot on the line when you're out there on the field, you know what I mean, and things like that. So, yeah, that's just what's going down. But here we go. Representing the Washington Commanders, win, lose, or draw, doesn't even matter. It was a terrible game. Offensively, I felt like Cliff Kingsbury got outcoached. He got outmatched. I feel like on the defensive side of the ball, Green Bay was ready for everything that Washington had coming. I mean, the rookie got picked on. Josh Connolly, our first-round draft pick, got picked on a lot. I mean, at first they was moving Micah Parsons around, but then I guess they felt like they had a matchup issue over there. And Micah started to lean more towards, they started to place him more towards Josh Connolly. He was beating Josh Connolly. Josh Connolly was getting beat a lot. And the corners in that nickel defense they were playing, in that cover 2, cover 3, maybe even cover 4 quarters, whatever they were playing, it wasn't no separation getting. They were showing blitz, they were dropping, they were showing blitz, and they were coming. But what I noticed was smart, that they kept Micah Parsons on Jaden's would-be right side. So, you know, Jaden is more effective when he runs to the right. I mean, any right-hand quarterback is more effective when they roll to the right. If they can run to the right and everything like that. So a few times you've seen Jaden start right, then try to drift back left. And if he ran left, it was kind of hard for him in general. The defense, Marshawn Lattimore, I mean, he got picked on. I mean, this was a top corner in the league just a few years ago, literally. Whereas though you wasn't trying Lattimore like that. And Lattimore has been getting picked on like since the season has started, since he was been the Commander, you know what I mean? But we try to knock that away because of the simple fact that, yeah, he was injured. He was injured last year, but, you know, he's been fresh. He's been healthy. in this camp, but he has been getting picked on, and to the point where as though, you can blatantly see the hold on the rookie receiver that he was checking. They were sending him in motion a lot. He was running back and forth across the formation, and then trying to keep up. So speed, he's obviously lacking that, because there are younger guys that's in the league that's faster, and he can't keep up. So what else are you going to do besides, hold? I think the defensive line was doing great. I think the defense actually did better than what the stats may show, because you got to think, going into the half, only being down 17-3 kind of felt like, it was 14-3, kind of felt like a blessing, because the simple fact that the way the first half went, it was crazy. And the next thing you know, we in a one-score game, 17-10, and it felt like, okay, here we go. Like, there are some things cooking up in the making, and what the Commanders have showed last year, at least, is that they are a great adjustment team at the half. I was surprised that Krosky Merritt didn't get more touches than he did. I had him on my fantasy lineup tonight too, so maybe I feel a little bit biased, but at the same time, he had 4 touches the whole game, 4 carries, for 17 yards. I don't know, and then in the stretch, they had McNichols in the game. I'm not sure if it was like a pass protection, pass pro issue. I'm not sure what was the issue as far as Merritt not being in there. Power game, as far as power running game, B-Rob was definitely missed tonight, I would think, because if you want to keep a defense honest, then you have to kind of exert yourself, even if you're not getting the yards that you want to get on first or second down or whatever the case. But if you got a bruiser like a Brian Robinson Jr., then it'll at least keep the defense honest. You know what I'm saying? And I felt a lot of dropbacks from Cliff Kingsbury tonight. Of course, we run a lot of shotgun, we run a lot of no huddle, and tonight it just wasn't clicking. Deebo Samuel, he showed up, special team. He showed up on, a few catches. Ertz showed up. Terry McLaurin, I don't understand how Cliff Kingsbury, we didn't do one screen, whether it was a wide receiver screen or a screen to a running back. No screen to Eckler, no screen to Merritt, no screen to McNichols, no screen to Terry, no screen to Deebo. I don't understand. Noah Brown, I like Noah Brown and everything like that, but I think Lane, McCaffrey, Moore, somebody needs to get a little bit more reps. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't seen any separation, and that's from any of the guys for that matter. But it's early in the season. It was only week 2. It was a test. It was a big stage, and the Packers dominated. You know what I mean? Just like they did the Lions last week, they did the Commanders. And Parsons obviously makes a big deal for that defense. Something that they already had, but he just add another element to that defense, and that gives the flexibility for the defensive coordinator to make the right defensive calls. And the way they matching up in the secondary and things like that, it's crucial. I don't think they could sustain that all year, but who knows? If they stay healthy, if they do this and do that correctly. But once you get enough film on them and what they're trying to do as far as schematic-wise with Parsons and with Gary, and how they're moving their pieces, how they're changing up their coverages and this, that, and the third, then it'd be easy to catch on as a coordinator, you know what I'm saying, as far as an offensive coordinator. But tonight they were on point. The crowd was in sync. They were flying around. They were, pressuring. Like I said, they were picking on Josh Connerly a lot. Tunsil had an offensive full start. But Tunsil, for the most part, did his thing. Parsons did get him on a good move. He got a holding call as well, I would have liked to see a lot more run game for the Commanders, even if it wasn't effective. It's all about just keeping the defense honest, making them respect the run game, regardless if you're getting yards or not. I just felt like those guys were able to pin their ears back and just rush Jayden Daniels. And then on top of that, when receivers aren't getting out, it was a lot of short game. You know what I'm saying? They took minimum shots downfield. I don't know if it was coverage-wise why they wasn't taking shots downfield, but even on their short routes, for the most part throughout the game, they wasn't hitting on those short routes. Jayden was off. Jayden was pressured a lot. Like I said, I feel like it all boils down to, having a balanced attack. I feel like the Commanders got off of the square, you know what I mean, as far as how we are accustomed to seeing them, during the course of a game. It wasn't it. And I feel like Jordan Love, on the flip side, and Matt LaFleur, they were on point. They were in sync. They knew exactly how they wanted to attack the Commanders. You got Kraft running up the seam, catching 50-yard passes. You know what I mean? We're catching a pass probably for like 20 yards and then running 30 yards down the middle of the field. You know what I mean? And he had a historic day for a tight end from Green Bay. I mean, you had a lot of plays that were being made, but then you had plays where the Commanders were still in the game. I mean, it's a touchdown away, and then we're talking a different type of game. And then when they get the touchdown, then you can't stop Green Bay going down to, put up 3 points to make it, back a 17-point game, so a 10-point game, 14-point game. I mean, they held one of the best running backs in the league. He had like 20 plus carries, and he didn't even see 85 yards rushing. So the D-line is definitely, the run game is better than it was last year, at least as far as the first 2 games go. But the pass coverage, Trey Amos did great. You know what I mean? It's Marshawn back there got picked on. Will Harris, who we just acquired from the New Orleans Saints, he got picked on. Dude, you're a safety. You should be able to be athletic, have enough speed, have enough insight to be able to check a tight end. And no disrespect to Kraft, but I mean, he's a tight end, bro. He's not Travis Kelce. He's not George Kittle. He's not, some of the elite tight ends in the National Football League. But yet and still, he's elite enough to be able to beat you. And that's what he did. He beat you. You know what I'm saying? Like up and down the field. You know what I mean? And it was just crazy just sitting back, just watching the game, just observing the game, just analyzing the game. Green Bay was way more prepared, than the Commanders. Commanders definitely need to go to the drawing board, need to figure out, it looks like I said, it's 2 bad losses, defensively and offensively. Dedrick Wise, like I said, he was making a great impact. You could see his presence felt on the field, last week and in this game. And then you got Austin Eckler, you know what I'm saying? He already made impact last year, and he was starting to pick it up again this year. And to see both of those guys go down and basically look like season-ending type of injuries. And then considering these guys' ages, who knows what the future holds for those guys. I mean, this could be it for those guys. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, the Commanders definitely need to go back to the drawing board. Cliff Kingsbury definitely needs to figure out what defenses are about to try to do to Jayden Daniels and his offense. Because they're going to definitely take this tape that the Packers have put on display in front of a national audience. Defensive coordinators around the league are going to try to emulate, even though they don't have the Parsonses and the Gurries and the corners, the McKenzies, and all of these other Nixons. Nixon was a name that was being talked about a lot tonight in tonight's broadcast because he was everywhere. But you best to believe it's a copycat league, and they're going to be coordinators, defensive coordinators that's going to try to attack the Washington Commanders the same way that Green Bay did tonight. So Cliff Kingsbury definitely got 10 days to, get healthy, mentally just get back on the drawing board, because you got, the Raiders coming into town, and then we go to Atlanta afterwards. And I might be in that game in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, in 2 weeks. But at the same time, man, that was a beatdown, but it wasn't a beatdown, because it's like, again, you're a touchdown away from like actually tying up the game. And it felt like one of them games from last year. It's just like, okay, well, they still hanging around, even though the game feels like it's out of reach. But it's just like, it's a play away. And you're waiting for that big play to happen. The big plays didn't happen. The explosive plays didn't happen. But at the same time, it was like a methodical approach, considering what Green Bay was willing to give up. They wasn't giving up the deep ball, period, point blank. The short routes, they were willing to give those up, and they feel like they had the better athletes to make the tackles, so there's no yard after catch. There's no rack, you know what I'm saying? None of that. They already had a plan. It was solidified. They executed the plan. And then when they found weaknesses on the offensive side, on the offensive line, when Brandon Coleman went down, it kind of affected a lot of things too, because sometimes they could throw Parsons right over there and they hear pressure from that side. But for the most part, Parsons was working on Josh Conley a lot. And like I said, preventing Jayden from running or rolling at least to the right side. I think the screen game would have helped a lot, even though, there were times where they could show that they blitzing 7 or 8. They can show they bringing it, and then they'll drop 2 or 3 in coverage. You know what I'm saying? Flats, hooks, you know what I'm saying? They're doing everything to try to mix, and master what Jayden's, mindset is, you know what I'm saying, or what Cliff is trying to do. And they were successful, but the best way to get at the Packers offense is to apply pressure to Jordan Love, because every time we got pressure on him, he looked like an average quarterback. But if you give that guy time, and this is his 3rd or 4th year in Matt LaFleur's offense, he's going to be able to decipher, of course, he knows where his receivers are going to be and everything like that. He's going to be able to sit back and decipher and make pinpoint passes like he did a lot tonight, the times that we didn't get pressure was the times that he exposed the Washington Commanders. But I don't feel no type of way about this particular game. I mean, like I said, it's week 2. We 1-1. We're in good shape. We got 2 more non-divisional games. versus the Raiders, and then versus the Falcons. A rematch against the Falcons, which was a playoff clincher type of game. But you got an up-and-coming Raiders team coming into town. And we win those 2 games. This game is forgotten, you know. We 3-1, you know, in the first 4 games in the first quarter of the season. So I'm not in panic mode. You shouldn't be in panic mode, but there are some things that the Commanders definitely need to go back to the drawing board and get under control. Defensively, offensively, special teams. Matt Gay, he ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Last year we had a few kickers. I think we need to bring another kicker into play because Matt Gay ain't it. I don't like dude. He used to kick in a dome, right? A kicker is a kicker, supposedly, but his kick was already pulling left. The first kick he made was pulling left. He missed that other kick, pulling it left. He missed the other one, he pulled it right. So you know he's trying too hard back there. He just not comfortable back there kicking the football, and it's gonna cost us, especially in games that we need to have. Games like this, gritty games like this, where sometimes you ain't gonna get 7. You know what I'm saying? You might need to take that 3 points, and if you jacking kicks, bro, you know what I'm saying, and you're getting paid all this money to hit these kicks, it's a problem. But overall, I think the defensive line was good. I think the run defense was great, actually. You know, considering going against one of the top backs in the league. I thought the secondary, it was so-so, you know what I'm saying? And that was because some of the big plays, some of the splash plays. Lattimore, I don't know what Lattimore got going on, but right now he ain't it, you know. He getting exposed, he getting picked on. Maybe it's technique, maybe it's the lack of confidence mentally. Maybe he know that the league feels like you can't cover no more, my guy. So they're gonna come at you. You were once a feared cornerback, but now we're gonna bring it to you. We're gonna make you play cornerback. You're not getting a paycheck just for being on the field. No, we're gonna make you work. And maybe he's uncomfortable with that at this stage of his career. Maybe the confidence ain't there. Trey Amos is a dog. Keep testing him. He's definitely going to have some picks. He's definitely going to, you know, eventually show that he's a steal. Mikey got caught in a jam, you know, pressing up, and got hit with a shifty move and a slant, you know what I'm saying, for a touchdown. So, Bobby is Bobby, but Bobby, you know, he's just a quarterback out there, but you could tell he can't really move like how he needs to move, though he find himself in the right spots. Louvu, I don't even know what Frankie was at tonight. I ain't even really hear too much Frankie. I heard that the Green Bay Packers had 2 offensive linemen that was playing tonight that pretty much wasn't starters. And Love rarely got touched. He got pressured a few times, but he didn't get touched all like that. And I didn't like that. So there's a lot to do and go back to the drawing board. We're going to see what the Commanders do, man. Here it is. It's your boy, Sports God TV. I'm going to report to y'all win, lose, or draw. You already know who it is. And I'm going to give y'all the real. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy. Till the next time.